I am getting the red light on air sign, which means we are live again. Man, a month down already in 2025. And what a ride it's been already. So many new things from the custom shop and some new options and updates to the builder. So pretty exciting. So if you haven't checked out our builder, check out the builder. We got some really cool things happening on there. Denim finishes have been added. Monster Burst finish has been added. A new finish called Lagoon Burst. And then we did some other minor tweaks. We also added upgraded tops. You can get 5A and 7A flame maple tops. So pretty cool. So the builder is becoming more and more accommodating and allowing you to build your dream guitar. Obviously, keep in mind it's a graphic representation. So different woods are going to affect how things look. Like for example, here is a aqua, beautiful aqua over a very white piece of swamp ash. So it actually looks aqua. A lot of times when we get swamp ash, it can have some like a yellowing almost to the wood. And so you can have like blue over yellow can make a little bit of green. This is what aqua is supposed to look like. Especially if you see it over like a flame maple top, you can get a really good idea of what aqua looks like. And this is my deal of the live. We're going $16.99 on this one. This is one of the early O2s. Amazing, amazing flame maple body. It does have the flush mount flat, I should say flush mount, flat plate jack on this one. It doesn't have the normal flush mount that they are supposed to get. So it's an early prototype. So if you want this exact guitar, $16.99 grabs it. When I told Brandon the price, I forgot it had a flamed swamp ash body. So I think that's why you were saying $21.99. Is that why you were saying that?
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, I should maybe charge a little more for it.
Yeah, I think your initial was $21.99, and I kind of forgot it had a flame swamp ash body. So I'm going to be, because the body is so amazing, I'm going to be hard-nosed on this one. So if you don't call while I'm live, it's not $16.99. So you got to get it. Got to get into the guys 858 guitars and grab it while we're live. The moment we end the live, if someone doesn't come in here and tell me it's sold, then it'll go on the website for probably $21.99. It'll probably be the price for that. So anyway, maybe I should, I was in the middle of picking tops when Brandon was talking to me and I was like trying to multitask, wasn't paying attention. If you missed it, brand new model, the beautiful Cura. Love this model. And named after my cat, Cura. The single cut, amazing looking. I mean, I love the way it looks. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys like it? Not like it? Of course, with the brand new neck heel, brand new neck, rear bevel, all the features you know and love. The access jack, dual carbon fiber rods, 2A truss rod, stainless steel fret standard quarter saw neck. Of course, American made. Locking tuners. I was trying to think of American made pickups, American made bridge, Bourne's pots, Oaks Grigsby 5-way switch, like all the best stuff, right? We've done so many improvements and updates, especially over the last, gosh, I would say a lot of maybe we haven't mentioned them often enough, but a lot in the last 3 years. You know, just really going to town on making these the best they can possibly be. And I'm just so stoked. And then we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary for Kiesel Guitars, for being Kiesel. Obviously, the company was founded in 1946. So we're coming up on our 80th. But it's really exciting for us to be 10 years of Kiesel. So that's super cool. Back to our original name. So definitely neat there. But what a great way, you know, bringing in the new year with some new options, some old options too, but on the builder, a new model, a redesign of the very popular Osiris and Zeus models. And then we have our AC26. So a lot of new cool stuff. What else have we been doing here? Trying to think of some other neat things that we've done. We have improved our finishes yet again, and that has been a process over the past several months. The finishes have yet come even a step better, and we are pushing ourselves. It's no one is saying we need to make these improvements, especially on the finish. Independently tested, we were already tested as the best finish in the industry, and we've stepped it up yet again. So we want to be the standard. You guys might have seen, we do have a charge for clear coats now. It's like a glass type of finish. It's not really a gloss. It's like glass. It's just amazing. It's perfectly smooth, no bumpiness at all. Sanded down to about 3,000 grit sandpaper and then high-speed polished out. These guitars are smoother than a $300,000 Ferrari. They really are. They're in better sheen and better glossiness than your highest end sports cars. So that's how crazy we're going with our finishes, because we want to. We want, when you guys see that name on the that name on the guitar, I'm pointing on to the body of a headstock guitar. When you see that name on the guitar, we want you to understand that means we're committed to the highest level of finishes, woods, tone. So it's exciting, this 10-year mark and these new models. So without further ado, why don't we open up for some questions? My deal to live, I mistakenly said $16.99. I'm going to live by that. You grab it by calling 858 Guitars. If you don't, it'll go in the in-stock section at probably $21.99. But what do you guys want to know?
First question is from Nick. He is asking, how does the body size of the Kira compared to the SCB? Torn between the two for my next Kiesel.
Well, I would say the biggest thing there to choose from is, do you want a bolt-on or a neck through, right? Because the Kira is a bolt-on and the SCB is a neck through. As far as body size, I actually did not put the templating up to each other. I don't know off the top of my head, to be completely transparent. If you're familiar with our A2, from about the waist down, about right here down, it is an A2, and then it's completely changed from that point up. I had always wanted to do a single cut Aries. It was something that I had envisioned doing a very, very long time ago, never got around to it. And then when we revamped the Aries to the A2, it was the perfect timing to launch the Kira. And this has been done for, I don't know, I think I got this model done last year around August, I think. Something like that, July or August. So it's been done for a while. But wanted to launch it we wanted to launch it NAMM time. That was the idea with it. Just so we had something new for NAMM. And I wanted to launch it around the time I got my cat. So a year into having my cat Kira, which she's a very playful cat and she's amazing, but it's the second time I've gotten some battle scars from her. So separated by about a year too. She's the sweetest thing. She'll come up and rub her nose right on mine. And she sleeps with us every night. But the other day, right after the Kira video, I was holding her and we were kind of playing, and she put her nose to mine and then went to softly bite me, but got a little excited. And then she immediately knew. I set her down and she's rubbing up against me, watching me tend to my wound. And I think she feels bad, but the damage has been done. Damn you, Kira. Still love her.
Next question is from Tim. He's asking, any plans to bring back gold frets?
So gold frets are not gone because of us. They're gone because they no longer are manufactured. So the manufacturer is Jescar fret wire, the highest quality fret wire in the industry. There was not enough other guitar companies purchasing them. We were one of the only ones, and we could not sustain the gold frets just by ourselves because they didn't catch on with all these other companies because they're very expensive. Probably they don't want to put the extra costs into their guitars. There wasn't enough sales, and so they discontinued them. So they will not be coming back unless some much larger, guitar company than us comes through and says, "Hey, will you make these?" I mean, we asked for them originally, and they made them, and there was, they were catching on somewhat, but I just don't think there was enough sales for them. We still use their stainless steel frets as well as a lot of the other high-end guitar builders use Jescar. They're not cheap by any means, German-made. We're buying the material based on the pound, by the pound, based on it's being tied to precious metals. So they are very expensive. But I would love to have kept them, and there's nothing I can do about it on that one. My hands are tied.
Jackson is asking, how often do customers order custom solid colors from Ferrari, Porsche, etc., and what is your process for matching paints like that?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So we can either get a paint code from the manufacturer. If you have that, we can always do that. We do custom paint colors very often, whether someone goes into a Pantone chart, they select a color, they go to like House of Colors, they select a color, or they pick an automotive-based color. We do it pretty often. The problem we have is we're only allowed to house a certain amount of paint here because we have to keep MSDS sheets, material safety data sheets on everything, and then I guess it's OSHA, California Air Resource Board, and OSHA, they'll come through and check. It's California Air Resource Board, not OSHA. They'll come through and they'll check on all of our materials, make sure we have log sheets and all that. So we're only allowed to house so much paint. So when we buy paint for a guitar, we have to buy a certain size container of paint, and then we're only allowed to keep it for so long. That's why there's a cost there, and what the cost is because we have to buy a certain size. Hello? That's weird to knock on the door. Wow, Flock is knocking on the door. This is like the guy that barges in on you. What's up, Flock?
Listen, bro. It's Thursday, not Wednesday.
That's true. It's a good point.
So we're going to get that guitar for Corey Smith.
Corey Smith got the deal of the live.
And you might bring it over too? I think you want to see the back.
Yeah, the back is...
Dude.
I misspoke, Corey. You got a hell of a deal. This is a rad guitar. This is one of the early prototypes. When I say that, the body shape is the same. The difference is the jack location.
It's got medium jumbos?
No, it looks like jumbos.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks like jumbos. But Corey, thank you. That's rad. I don't even know what I was saying before the door got knocked on. That was weird.
Yeah, Flock, he usually just
Barges
slams the
in.
door open. I said, knock all quietly.
What's shaking, Tiger?
I don't remember what you were talking about, but next question is, looks like the Icon 5 is the last 5-string with 17 millimeter spacing. Is 17 millimeter available on the A25 string bass or other models?
It is not. No, it's that's the first time I've been asked for 17 millimeter spacing on a 5-string in, I'm going to say 5 years.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I can't remember a single time during one of these lives someone's asked for that. So that is one of the models. And you can actually get the 19 millimeter spacing on an Icon 5. So if you'd rather have the wider, you can get that.
Oh, next question looks like they're a little too late. I said, can you go over the deal again?
Oh, sorry.
What?
Deal is sold. Yeah, I screwed up on that one.
Cameron is asking, hey, Jeff, what's your favorite orange finish? Debating on orange candy, orange denim, orange Arctic, or saber orange.
Okay. I would go with orange candy out of all of those. I think that's probably the best looking one, personally. Followed up by... I mean, an orange denim can look really cool too. Yeah. Not that all of them look great, but I'm just thinking of like my favorites. And I think the orange candy is what I would go with.
Frank is asking, why no 24 3/4 scale on the Kira?
I just don't get enough requests for 24 3/4. I think you're probably the second one that's asked for that I'm aware of. Maybe this model would warrant something like that more so than other models. We'll see what the future holds for that.
We got Joji in here asking,
Joji,
is Chris Hong the most knowledgeable person about carving guitars who works for Kiesel?
I would say Mark Kiesel is.
That's it. I was going to say, does he count for working for Kiesel?
He
though?
does, yeah.
Yeah, I
mean,
guess so.
I work for Kiesel. He works for Kiesel too. We are employees here. We have employee IDs. He's number one and I'm number two. But yeah, I was employee hire number 407 for Carvin. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think he was employee hire number, I think it was like 3 or 4. My dad was. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. But my dad would be the most knowledgeable for sure. Chris Hong knows a lot too. There's no doubt. He's an amazing wealth of knowledge. I would say Chris Chris probably knows more than me about the older stuff. And what ends up happening is, and I kind of joke, but it's really serious, is there's only so much space. And so sometimes you're like a filing cabinet, you got to like get rid of old stuff to store some of the new stuff in there. So yeah, the guys are always, including Chris, coming to me and asking me questions about if we can do something or can't do something on our current lineup. Anyway. So I got a question for you guys. Did anybody that's watching the live attend NAMM? I've talked to several people about NAMM. And the feedback I got from everybody every single person was, it was pretty depressing. That's what I got. I guess NAMM, they advertised everyone's back, Fender and Gibson and ESP and all these companies, and they weren't back. They had meeting rooms that if you didn't have an appointment because you were a dealer, you couldn't go in. So you couldn't see any products. So they misled everybody. I'm pretty disappointed that NAMM would do something like that, like a bait and switch, so abruptly a bait and switch. So I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of really pissed off people that bought a ticket, I think they're $350, to go to NAMM to like look at some of these guitar brands or fill in the blank brands, whatever you're into, keyboards or DJ stuff. And then you go there and they just have a meeting room for dealers that's not open to the general public. So I think that's pretty poor that NAMM would do something like that. But did anybody go? And if so, what did you think of the show? And only answer this if you had been to NAMM prior to COVID. If this is your only NAMM, you got nothing to base it on, and your opinion is only relative to what you know. And I'm asking, I guess, compared to pre-COVID versus this NAMM. And even pre-COVID, like 2020 NAMM was not anything like it was in the 90s. Like the 90s NAMMs were crazy. Like the parties and stuff, and like you'd have the big, all these big concerts and events going on you could go to. I guess there was nothing going on up there at all. I mean, there was a few awesome performances. John Mayer played, Baxter played, some other, people played. But besides these key events, it's like not much going on.
All right, we got a few of these. I don't know if these are the same regular people, but there's a few people in here again asking for the offset shape.
Yeah, people have been asking for offsets. I don't know, guys. I mean, I just gave you a brand new model. Appreciate the you guys watching and hanging out.
Here's a chill one. They're just asking, how are you these days?
Wow, someone actually asking how I'm doing? Not, fuck you, Jeff, make the guitars with more features and sell them cheaper. That's usually what I'm used to getting. I'm good. I'm good. Enjoying all the progress, and really looking back 10 years ago and seeing where our guitars were and seeing what they are today. I mean, I'm just so proud. Proud at just the staff we have here. Stoked on the men and women here that are just making these amazing guitars. And, when I take people on tours, they see the excitement and the joy on people's faces here. And I'm just stoked. And, we had that 10 years ago, but not to this level. The men and women we have here are they're amazing. They really, really, truly are. And they care and they want to be here. And I didn't have nearly as solid of a crew 10 years ago when we first split as I do now. And the reason why is, back 10 years ago, we were in a different place at the time. And what I mean by that is it's not the mentality. We did have a mentality shift for sure, but we've improved the product so much. It's not that the other guitars weren't great. They were. These guitars are just superior in every way. And with that comes making sure you have the right people around you. And I feel like we have the right people really around us, the right artists. It's been really cool. I'm doing good. Family's good. We're healthy. We're going to be racing a bunch this year. Yeah. Everybody's doing good. How are you doing? That's like I'm not used to someone asking me how I'm doing.
You're just like, how am I doing?
What do I do with my hands? Like, I don't even know how to answer that. I mean, I'm doing good. Just a lot of work always, I was going to bring a carve top in here. I'm working on the neck heel for the carve top. So the carve top has the rear bevel, but I'm also redoing the neck heel on the carve top. I want those to be more comfortable. So I'm working on that right now, and I was going to bring that in, and I just had my hands full when I was walking in here, so I set the guitar down, and that's something I'm working on right now. We are completed on 2024 orders. What I mean by that is the entire neck department for every order that had been ordered in 2024, they are already through my neck department as of, I think it was yesterday. So I got my staff together beginning of the week to talk about, all the new necks and the heels and how I want everything sanded and done. And here comes production on 2025, starting, right? So pretty exciting to see that transition. Now, granted, it's going to take a while for that to work through into guitars that are ready to ship. But it's neat to see that, we're at least starting the necks at this point for 2025 builds. So it's pretty cool.
Got a question from Rocky. He says, what inspired the name Kira? I know it's your cat's name, but was there anything that inspired that?
Yeah, so my cat has, of course my guitar's not in here, these yellow-green eyes, like mainly yellow, and I was looking up cool names that are like stones, like precious stones, and Kira is a precious stone that's got like a yellow hue to it, and Kira is also Star Wars character. So it was kind of a dual meaning. And so that's where her name came from. And my wife actually helped name her. And yeah, she's just amazing. She's just like, she is the sweetest cat. I know she bit my nose the other day, but I promise you she's the sweetest cat. She just jumps up on your lap and just lays there and chills. And yeah, she was being really feisty. And, at the end of the day, she still was living on her own in the wild and having to fend and hunt and do all that. So she's still like, we're making her a domestic cat, but she was a wild cat when we got her. So it's like, I got to remember that. And it hurt. And I was like, I just set her down and I was like, oh, and I went into the bathroom and I was bleeding pretty good actually. And she just follows me in there. She's just rubbing up against me and like, you could just tell, like, if she could say something, she's saying, sorry, Dad, sorry. Dad, sorry. Sorry, Dad. But I was just like, I had to get away for like 5-10 minutes, I was like, it's not fun.
Forrest is asking, why is ebony the standard Kiesler fingerboard? Is this Jeff's personal preference?
Ebony's a great wood. I feel like with ebony, you have something that offers probably the most amount of inlay options with. It's natural wood. We don't have shortages of ebony. It's got a great sound. It's very durable. The thing about ebony you don't want to do is, like if you live in, let's say, Phoenix or Las Vegas, somewhere where it gets really hot and dry, you wouldn't want to leave a ebony fretboard guitar in the trunk of your car if your trunk's getting 150 degrees. That would be the only downside to ebony. You can have it crack if it gets super hot. I'm talking way past where the instrument should ever get 150 plus degree temperatures. And, in Phoenix, you can have days that are 125 out there. And so in the trunk of a car, you could exceed 150. So it'd have to get through to the case. Now the soft cases do an amazing job at protecting the instruments. Much, much, much better than a hard case would. Hence the reason for discontinuing the hard case completely. When we would have damages in shipping, no exaggeration, 10-1. And we hardly sold hard cases at all. So we would have 10 damaged in shipping in a hard case to every 1 in a soft case. Soft case would be maybe 3 a year. That's it. 2-3 a year out of, 4,000 instruments. It's nothing. And especially the way these guys handle these guitars sometimes. It's like, dude, what are you doing? We've thrown them off the building and it's been okay.
Do you think Richlite is the most stable fingerboard?
I think Richlite is a great fingerboard. I don't know if I would use the word most stable, but what Richlite does for you is it's going to have the least amount of expansion and contraction. It doesn't mean stability. To me means strength in all ways. And Richlite is not going to be as strong from the nut to your 24th as far as rigidity, but it is going to have the least amount of shrinkage. So it depends on what's more important for you. Because our guitars are built in a way where our necks are so robust and so strong, it's not a problem to put a Richlite fingerboard on it. But ebony is going to have a better, if I took the fingerboard by itself and I tried to bend it this way, grabbing the bottom of the fingerboard and the top, ebony is going to be stronger and more resilient to bending than Richlite would. But ebony is going to be more prone to shrinking because it was a tree at one point, right? It's not a man-made product. So it's going to be more susceptible to moisture and climate changes. So a great, material that's in between the two would be a roasted maple is going to be great because even though it's natural, by the time we roast it, we're removing the excess moisture that's even still left after we do the kiln treatment process. I shouldn't say excess, any additional moisture, because we dry to about 7.5% moisture level before we work with the woods. And it's removing even more.
When will the new 5-axis CNC machine be up and running?
We are not 100% sure we're going to even take the machine now. We are going to be getting another CNC, but we don't know if we're going to do a 5 or do another traditional machine like we already have. We went to a couple facilities and we're running into a little bit of an issue. And the issue is with the 5-axis, it's got a tabletop like this, like a circular tabletop, where our current machines have a big rectangular top. And with the big rectangular top, we can put a guitar on it to do the top and the back side. Because we have a circular, we have to pick one surface, top or back. So because of that limitation, we'd have to buy 2 machines instead of just one. And at about $280,000 a piece, that's a hefty, hefty fee to go with 2 of them. So we'd have to run the backs on our rectangular machine and then flip it over and run the tops on the 5-axis, which doesn't get us to where we were hoping to be. Now, the machines are not any more accurate. They're the same accuracy, 1/10,000th of an inch. The whole point of doing it was to be able to like drill our jacks, drill our strap pins, be able to do things a little bit differently and maybe cut down some machining time, maybe. But if we got to go from one machine, walk it over and load into another machine, now any of that time we just saved is gone. And buying 2 machines, we just don't have the room to keep our 2 rectangular and then the 2 5-axis. Even if we wanted to spend that much money, like close to $600K, which we don't want to spend that much, on 2 machines. So we have another idea with getting, a standard machine, like more rectangular shaped. And then we have an idea of being able to be a little more efficient on drilling some of the side and secondary features. So we've been having some meetings, and this all stemmed after our last visit to an aerospace company that does aerospace work down in El Cajon. It all stems from the fact that if we mount it, I wish my cup didn't have water in it, we need to mount it on a pedestal. So to be able to maneuver it in all angles, the table can't stick out in any direction. So we have to have a very, very small area. And the problem is, if we have that area and it's small, it can't be circular. So it has to come in like this. Well, the moment you try to flip the guitar over, it can't suck down. So you have to pick one side. Otherwise, it's not going to do what we're buying it for. Then we're using it just like a standard, 4SS. So, we have a contract with Haas for it. We've given them a deposit. And we may have to switch, and we haven't told Haas this yet. We may have to switch machines because we do need to add an extra machine. The plan was never to replace a machine. It was to add a machine just to help with production and be able to keep up. So I don't know if we're going to take the 5-axis or not. It's a good question. I really, really want it because I like some of the capabilities it gives us. But on the other hand, with the other machine, I think we can add the efficiency we need, and we can still get the big tool changer to give us some of the functionality we want too. So both will get us where we need to go. So we'll see what time brings. We were supposed to take delivery of the machine at the end of February because we're just too busy right now to take it. We told them we can't have them coming in right now and moving stuff around when we're this busy. So the plan was never to take the machine before the end of February.
I'm just getting down to the comments of people who actually went to NAMM.
Oh, cool.
SoCal Guitar said, yes, I attended NAMM, subdued, kind of lame. Been going for about 10 years, may not go again.
Yeah.
A couple people said they were thinking about it and they skipped it. Another person said every YouTuber acted like it was so great.
Of course they did. Yeah, they don't want to start their video and say this isn't great. They want to hype you up so you watch their entire video and they get the ratings and they get the paid ads. Yeah, they're gonna be excited no matter what. And I'm not saying some of them didn't like it. Maybe some of them really truly were excited, but grain of salt on that one maybe.
Enrico said, I connected with some great artists and also harassed the True Temperament folks to work with you guys.
Yeah, they hit me up. They were trying to have a meeting with me. I didn't even reply to them because there's really no point for me to reply at this point. I've told them very clear about 6 times now. Unless I can do it in-house, I'm not interested in having a meeting. So, at some point, if they want us to do it, they will let me know that we are ready for you. It's cool for them to be excited about what they're doing, and that's neat, but I'm so busy right now. I just don't have the time to, have a couple-hour meeting with people and really already know that we're not going to work anything out. They have to change their minds on their end. And until they do that, and I don't even know what it's going to cost me. Like, what do I sell it for? How much work is it? And what do I have to pay them? I mean, we haven't even gotten into that, right? I mean, it's got to be worth it for us too at the end of the day. And we got to make sure enough of you guys want it. So it's like they have to say yes. We have to find out how it all works. And then you guys have to want it. I mean, it's three things need to happen. And the first thing is if they don't even want to let us do it, then there's no point in figuring out the other two.
We're a few minutes over. Do you want to do 3 more questions?
No, I actually have to be home at 4:00 today. So
Wrapping it up now.
yeah, we'll wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching the live and hanging out and supporting us in all things we do. Thank you for the support of 10 years. It's going to be on February 1st, will be 10 years. So pretty awesome. Yeah, that's it. Check out the Kira, check out the Builder, check out the new finishes. And if you have questions, as always, call my guys. They are guitar nerds like you. Do not be afraid. They'll answer your questions.